dirty bastard, dirty, dirty, dirty bastard, dirty, dirty, dirty bastard, dirty, dirty, dirty bastard, dirty, dirty, dirty.
I just can't stop reading.
Dirty, dirty,
Razzle over 50s.
dirty bastard, dirty, dirty, dirty.
There is
bastard,
sexy
dirty,
Mabel
dirty bastard, dirty,
down
dirty,
on
dirty
her
bastard,
knees.
dirty, dirty, dirty bastard, dirty,
When I'm
dirty, dirty
surfing
bastard, dirty,
all
dirty,
alone
dirty
at
bastard,
night,
dirty,
certain
dirty,
websites
dirty bastard, dirty,
make my
dirty,
pants
dirty
feel
bastard,
tight.
dirty, dirty.
I've been downloading granny porn, and I know before dawn the cops will come for me. Lips all dry and wrinkled, the taste is on my mind. Girl, you got me frisky, gonna take you from behind. Got the bug from new porn, but I don't need no cure. I'll just draw the curtains and close the door. When I'm surfing all alone at night, certain websites make my pants feel tight. I've been downloading granny porn, and I know before dawn the cops will come for me. When I'm surfing
Dirty bastard, dirty,
all
dirty,
alone
dirty
at
bastard,
night,
dirty,
certain
dirty,
websites
dirty bastard, dirty,
make
dirty,
my pants
dirty
feel
bastard,
tight.
dirty, dirty.
I've been downloading granny porn, and I know before dawn the cops will come for me. I'm downloading granny porn, and I know before dawn the cops will come for me. I'm downloading granny porn, and I know before dawn the cops will come for me. Mabel, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Hello and welcome to the Blackdog number 207. You shouldn't be that fucking despondent now. You've had fucking 2 weeks off.
It's been a long day. What can I say?
Okay, right, fair enough. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
There's a phrase that comes to mind as, you know, a bad day at home is always better than a good day on Blackdog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, fuck you. You can piss off now. There you go. On your way, on your toes. I got 3 other people with me now. I've got.
Oh right, okay.
I've got replacements now. Fuck off.
I'm so very tired.
So very expendable. Right. Anyway, so I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Joe Pasquale.
And I'm Elton.
And this week we are doing the episode 207, which is on Slither. And because we're doing Slither, we thought we'd call up the person who actually got us to do Slither, and that is Mr. Pete Hammond.
I'm Bill Party.
Hello, Bill. Hello.
Evening.
Yeah, evening. So yes, so we got Pete, who has not crashed his car when Jim said hello. So that's a good start.
Yet.
He did spill his soup all down his trousers though earlier. It was nasty. You should have heard the screaming. It was just terrible.
The screams. The terrible, terrible screams. So anyway, yeah, so this week we're going to have a bit of news. Probably not a lot because there's going to be a lot of chat about how everyone's week was, or fortnight, or 3 weeks, or whatever you call that. And then we're going to do a shitty superhero, a profannasaurus.
Yes, indeedy.
Good. And always good to check. And then we're going to have the rose tinted specs, which is James Gunn's Slither. Right. Well, let's get going, eh? I'm sure everyone's got something to show to the class. They've been away for 2 weeks. So we'll start off with our guest, Pete. And
All right.
how was your week, sir?
Eventful, to say the least. It's been quite a good one today.
Right.
As well, if you're friends with us on Facebook, you might possibly seen a quite long-winded post about how my day ended up today.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, puncture on my truck in the middle of a field,
Right.
which I sorted out.
Yeah.
Put the jack underneath the axle to jack the truck up so I could get underneath it.
Oh.
Put the jack under there. I thought, right, that's good, that's secure, that's safe. What's that smell? That's a familiar smell. It's not a good smell.
Okay.
And evidently, the path where I'd parked my car to sort the tyre out is popular with dog walkers who don't carry plastic bags with them. But it's all right because I picked it up for them using my fucking elbow, my shoulder, and all down my left-hand side.
Nice.
Oh. Now, I'd like to say this was the curse of the Blackdog.
Yes.
It is.
But it's not. It's not.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job you didn't go in on your front, because you could have looked like a really, really warped and demented version of Mel Gibson from Braveheart.
or like a halfway black and white minstrel, sort of just taking his makeup off. Mammy.
No, a disgruntled black and white minstrel. This is what I think of your format.
Dirty protest. Go on, carry
Yeah.
it.
So that wasn't nice. But as I say, that's par for the course. In the
Right.
past fortnight, I've had shotguns levelled at me by farmers and
Nice.
by pikeys.
Are they totally different things?
Yeah, because the farmers tend to think I'm a pikey because I'm on their land unannounced, and it's marvellous. It's all great fun.
Okay. Back the truck up a bit. So why are you trespassing on farmers' land?
Yes. Well, for my job, I do soil sampling and irrigation advice for farmers, and they don't always listen as to when I'm actually going to be on their land. So they see this chap turn up quite often with a quad bike towed behind a big sort of Mitsubishi Warrior pickup truck, and they think, oh, pikeys, hair coursers, and out come the shotguns.
So you root around in farmers' back gardens without their permission?
Euphemism.
Euphemism, context.
Phrasing.
So yes, it's all fun. And of course, it is in the middle of the fens as well, which
Nice.
just adds to it. So if I was shot and killed, nobody would ever know for about 2 weeks.
Well, or at least 10 or at least 20 minutes when the Facebook status is stopped.
Yes, I've been shot now. Fuck.
Shit. Cool. Okay. So up to your elbows in shit. That's essentially
which is literally.
Literally. Okay. Well, that's a good way to start. So who wants to top that? Who's up next?
Who wants to top that? Well, I've got a sort of similar sort of story.
Well, yeah, you got what appears to be someone's old sock on your hand.
Oh no, that's just from an
That's
injury.
wanking injury, isn't it?
Yes, a wanking hand. Doctor Who would say. No, honestly, it was on there. That was one of the bits they cut out of the Christmas special when David Tennant first died all those years ago. They thought, no, it's a kids' program. Don't put that in there. Not very good, you know. But a few weeks ago, one of the many things that I've been doing over this sort of month period that I haven't been on Blackdog is I went to Nine Worlds. Which is a convention that they hold once a year.
Not
Heathrow.
interdimensional travel then.
No, but it's got all talks and stuff like that. It's a great convention. But the trouble kind of started before I actually even got out of the house. So we've got a cat that we need to try and sort of like get in a cat box, and it was just being really fucking difficult. So called up the woman who's supposed to be looking after the cat for like 3 weeks, or should I say 4 days in her place. She comes over, shows me how to put the cat in the cat box, right?
By picking it up and stuffing it in the box.
Well, she said, like, put it on the edge so there's no way...
Euphemism.
Euphemism. I'm trying to stuff my pussy in a box, right? So anyway, we put this...
I think I've been on that website.
You probably have, yes. It's got a PayPal account. But so finally get the cat in the box, and it's like just about to take her away. She looks at the vaccination chart or the certificate and says, you do know the vaccinations are out of date. We've looked at the wrong fucking part of it, thinking that they're all ready and up to go. So she can't take it. So she's arranged with us to come to our house to look after the cat, come through every day, feed it. So it's like, fine, brilliant. So I'm cleaning out the litter tray, put all the litter in a bin liner, stick it out the front there, getting ready to go, pick all my stuff up, pick up the bag full of litter, and all of a sudden, I think to myself, has it started raining? Because all I can hear is shh.
Nice.
Oh.
And I look out the window and I can't see anything. And then I feel this sort of like this tapping on my leg. And then I look down and the fucking bag split, right? I've got I'm standing in like a foot of fucking piss covered cat litter, right? So for fuck's sake, so I pick it up, I take it outside and I shove it in a bin.
Yeah.
Right? I put my hand in my pocket and I put my hand in a pocket full of piss-covered fucking cat litter. Not only has it gone into my shoes and my fucking socks, but it's gone into my fucking pocket as well. I've had to fucking Febreze the bastard out of fucking sight. I really did. What a cock. So, and apart from, I mean, barring all the other stuff that happened to us on the way there, like getting off at the wrong hotel on the bus, realising it wasn't the sort of, what was it, Premier Inn, I think it was we went for. Mm-hmm. Nobody told us there was a Premier Inn about 3 miles down the road from the one we were supposed to be going to, so we got off at the wrong bus stop. Had to wait for that. But finally, when we got there, great convention, very well organised. Highly recommend it to anybody who's thinking about going. There is literally, you're never going to be bored going to it. There's always something to do.
Okay.
So yeah, organised for the fans. Even had a great little way of showing your appreciation for people's cosplay, like a little coin system, and you give you see someone who's got a good cosplay on, hand them a token. They get 15. They get a little lucky bag type thing.
Right.
So I managed to get one of those by literally making people feel guilty about my cosplay.
Well, your cosplay was just a fucking polo
I was
neck.
dressed as Archer both days. Thank you very much indeed.
That's not cosplay. That's going to work clothes.
No.
With a turtleneck.
That was dangerous, actually, ordering that stuff in work, because I ordered it all through Amazon on the works computer. Now, if security had gone back through the actual list of stuff I got, like black turtleneck, black combats, black holster, black combat boots, black belt. What else is there? Black goggles. It's like,
an airsoft gun as well.
An airsoft gun. It's like, is he started a paramilitary coup within the bank or what? So I could have got done for that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't.
Cool.
You could have been the milk tray man.
I could have been. Well, this is it. You see, it's like I'm either going to be mistaken for.
And I could be the one he's delivering the chocolates to.
Yes, it's a very hairy lady. I'm a very hairy lady.
I eat all the chocolates.
Oh, give me your chocolates, you fucker.
Yeah.
Dive off the top of something into water.
Into a ball pit.
So anyway, that was good. Saw a good few people that were there, like Dave Prober and Gillian Core were there.
Yep.
Good few other people as well. Too many to mention at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great few days there.
Cool.
What else did we do then? I had my anniversary then as well.
You had your anniversary, which put mockers on last week.
Yes, indeed. That was all our fault. I know. It's a bit like your fucking wedding anniversary putting the mockers on my fucking birthday, isn't it? Really?
Oh, don't.
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
you
come
inconsiderate bastard.
Yeah. That'll be the only time you turned up to your own birthday party and 260 people turned up and the bar was paid for.
Well, I did tell your dad.
You were so
your dad was not impressed
by.
though. I don't think it's the look he gave me. I think he could have.
I think it was when he put
tower block.
I think it was when he put the second grand over the bar that he was kind of unimpressed with generally anyone coming up and going, "Oh, thanks for the beer."
Yeah. Cheers, Mr. Metcalf. Thank you.
Yeah, that went down well.
So of course, yes, there was the Pink Floyd concert.
Okay, don't start nicking from me.
I'm not. It's a shared experience, man. I'm going to start nicking from Elton in a minute.
Okay, yeah. Well, let them get on with it. We'll come back round.
All right, I'm going to shut the fuck up then.
Yeah, just because we're gonna. There's going to be the whole thing about the Pink Floyd thing,
other
as well.
stuff as well. But there's. Yeah.
Okay, we're just. Okay.
I think the piss covered cat there
that was good.
has done me now. So
okay. I don't wish to cut you short, but you're looking quite upset now.
No, I am upset.
Okay.
Even if I didn't have a wanking injury.
The wanking injury does look particularly fierce.
It does, doesn't it? you know.
It's particularly fierce.
It is.
Was the wanking injury triggered by the cat litter?
Or by the
Well, yeah, because I often smother myself in cat litter while I'm laying naked on a bed, and rub peanut butter into my nipples as well, and
let the cat go to town.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, yes.
Just remember, they're not licorice. It's not licorice.
You can love your cat, but you can't love your cat.
Yeah. He's got like the Iron Man glove of wanking injuries.
I have.
Looking at me like that.
It's not an Iron Man. It's like a wank sock.
He's practically
With my hand.
He's practically got a fucking repulsor on it.
It could have. It could have.
Anyway, Jim, how was your week? He says changing subject very quickly before we get into Darren's wanking
rather
habits.
uneventful in comparison.
Oh.
I finally got my bathroom finished and got, and then caught up with sleep, de-stressed, and promptly got a throat infection over the weekend, which is all right. It meant rather than recording and working and doing all the things I normally do, it means I actually had a bank holiday weekend like other cunts do, where I laid around and watched bad telly and read books and Minecrafted and stuff, and so that was pretty good for a change, even though I could have done without the full body aches and the sore throat.
Yeah.
I know that was very good. I thought it was a nice break. August had been a very busy month up to that point, and I think the illness was going. You're going to chill out whether you like it or not, right? Just bang, there you go.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. But other than that, I've not really done a right lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, apart from, I seem to be talking to you more than I talk to my family members at the moment. We've been on podcasts every Friday doing the Witlisted Defence thing as well, and doing the Porky's thing as well.
Well, I know this is it. I don't have much time to do anything else other than podcasts.
Yeah.
Somebody pay me.
Yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? If we started getting paid for podcasts, that would be fantastic.
I'd be richer than Croesus.
Cool. And over to you, Mr. Elton. How was your week?
Well, mine has been pretty uneventful as well. Since we last spoke on Witlist, not on Blackdog. Sorry, Darren.
Yeah, we've been cheating behind your back, all of us.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that podcast with you guys. Then we've had my daughter's 8th birthday, which was fun.
Yep.
Sitting around in our PJs, having movies, and then deciding at the last minute to go to the Prezos, which was
nice.
Harem-scarum stuff, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yep.
And then before that we had a party on Saturday just gone.
Didn't we
Which Darren attended.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Flaming bin is all I'm going to say.
Okay, well,
Flaming bin.
Before Darren goes off on one and starts telling us his version of events, you tell us your version of events, Elton. Because I saw lots of pictures of Darren with bobble hats on and shit, but I didn't see many pictures. I didn't see many pictures of you. So you were hiding, or something was going on.
He was like a puppet master behind the scenes. He was just working the situation. He really was.
Right.
I did feel like my feet didn't touch the floor. Poor Amanda was running around like a headless chicken, helping everyone out at the party as well. The idea was to have a hog roast.
Right.
And then we decided we needed a new clutch in our car instead of the hog roast, so that had to go on the wayside.
Yeah.
And then we wanted a bungee run in that garden as well, but then we realised there's a tree in the middle of our garden, so that would be bad.
Well, it would have been all right. Run round the tree, and run back again.
Yeah.
See,
it might have worked.
Yeah,
it may have worked. We might have looked like snow speeders going around AT-ATs at one point, though.
until the spring caught back, and then it would have been a Looney Tunes moment.
Yeah, but 6 years ago we did have a hog roast, and I remember I paid about £350 for this hog roast and had one bap. So it was possibly the most expensive sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, but what you got in place of it was absolutely fantastic.
Which was?
the large joint of pork.
Oh, there's 2 large joints.
Is it 2 large joints? They were fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
How much of that did you get to have, Elton?
I had 1 sandwich.
But it cost you a lot less.
It did cost me a lot less, but yeah, I had exactly the same amount of food.
It was a 50 quid sandwich as opposed to
some
a
apple
300
sauce,
quid
wasn't
sandwich.
I didn't even have any schmores. At one point, we got the flaming
nice.
bin, as Darren said.
Oh, yeah. What was...
And it's a hobo bin that we have in our garden, just in case the hobos get cold. And we drag this out every now and again and cook marshmallows over the top of it and stick them in chocolate biscuits for the kids.
Do you know
Right.
what? It's a good job your neighbours didn't look out the window and see me standing there over the fiery bin looking in. I was looking through their window watching their TV, and it was like ABBA live. So I'm standing there I'm trying to lip read to see what songs are going on. It's like, had they actually looked out there, they would have just seen this sort of like, leather coated figure standing there with short hair, like,
lit up by the blue,
exactly,
by the flames
from below.
I just though that does bring the question: if Elton's party so boring that you had to go look through someone else's window? That's
No,
very
we just
rude.
came out. It was getting quite sort of cold, so we all stood round this thing, ready to go for the s'mores.
Which Elton didn't have.
Exactly, but I did.
You tell him, Elton. Tell him he's a fucking awful guest.
I'm not.
Well,
I'll tell him for you if you like.
I'm quite happy if everyone goes home happy and full up. That's good by me.
I
And
certainly
if I go hungry, I don't care. That's fine. As long as everyone else has had a good time, that's cool.
Yeah, but if your garden's on fire, your 300 quid lighter, and your guests are looking through the next door neighbour's window because they'd rather do that, then I'd be pretty pissed off, to be honest.
We did have to move the bin at one point, if I remember. I set the bin alight.
Yeah, because somebody pointed out that the tree that was directly over the actual. I'm not joking. When he first started it up, it was just quite an amazing sight. This bin, it just looked like a vortex of flame that was about 15 foot high. Right, it was. I'm not joking. It was quite a funnel. This thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It was quite impressive, I have to admit.
It was like, the hobo bin from hell.
You could almost see this tree drying out above this
Indeed.
fire. And so I thought, do you know what? I better move that just in case, or run round and get the hose. And it was easier just to move the bin.
Nice.
So we moved the bin and cracked out s'mores. And when you have only 6 skewers, I think it was, and about 1 million kids around you going, can I do one? Can I do one? Can I do one? And you're, crying out, why did I even bother doing this? But it went down well. It went down really, really well.
Nice. Cool. So, and a good time was had by all, except for you, who watched everyone go home full while you were starving and you had no money.
I'm a bit disappointed with Darren and his new profile picture, though, on the Facebook, where he's wearing a bobble hat, sunglasses, and got my guitar around his neck. And what he cut out of the picture was me holding a big industrial fan blowing on his face.
Oh, was
But
he?
it had no effect on the little fucking dangly bits of the hat.
Right.
So it couldn't look like me in a windstorm.
He wasn't being precious and going, but I'm too hot, I'm starting to sweat, please blow me dry.
But that was the joke about the picture. And he, no, I don't want Elton in there. Let's cut him out. Crop him.
Of
Well,
course.
it did actually look like he was sucking me off from the angle of his head. So, we had to get rid of that.
And you weren't wearing any trousers.
I wasn't, no.
So it's probably for the good of everyone that you cropped it down, to be honest.
Indeed.
But that was my week.
Lovely. Right, okay, well, my week's kind of I say a fortnight. I'll just go through a couple of...
About a month.
It's been about a month. It feels like a fucking month.
It does.
I'll go through in bullet points. Firstly, I went to get my hair cut, which don't try and do the gag I always do on you. I can see you thinking one up.
I'm not thinking anything. I'm
Just
thinking...
the look of your face.
Because I forgot... you've told me about it. I completely forgot your story about it. So I'm thinking...
Oh, right.
Oh.
Okay, the long and the short of it was, I wanted to get my hair cut because it was all fly away and dangling in my face and what have you. And so my mum said, when I was around there, she said, "Oh, there's new Paul's hairdressers just opened up on the front."
Paul's Boutique,
Yeah.
owned by the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why he's not in bloody Grove Park anymore.
No.
Right.
So anyway, so I went okay, right, fine, that's cool. So I didn't think about it, and then I said to Carol, I'm going to go get my haircut. So I walked down the shops, and I'm doing my Facebook thing and listening to podcasts and all that sort of stuff on my iPhone. And so my brain's peripherally looking for a black-fronted shop. So I'm like, and I've walked down the road to where roughly I think the hairdresser's is, and I walked in, sat down, and then I suddenly thought, I'm not getting seen. I wonder how many people are here. There's no one here. But it's like, oh, okay, what's going on here then? Nothing's going on. It's very quiet. The bloke's come out, and then I've walked into the fucking Undertaker's. And, it took a few seconds for sort of like the confusion to wear off, like, how are you? I'm fine. What, and
Something for the weekend.
Exactly. It's like, I sort of realised, I kind of went, this isn't a hairdresser, is it? He went, no, that's next door. I'm like, oh. And he tried to make some gag about something off the top, which I didn't really kind of catch, but I just kind of, okay.
As you were leaving,
Sorry.
he didn't look you in the eye and go, see you real soon.
Well, you could have done, but to be quite honest, I was walking out going, oh, fucking hell, fuck. Next bullet point, went to a farm called Hobbledown Farm with the kids, met up with Carol's brother and his kids, and that was very nice. And then got to see all the animals, all that kind of stuff. His kids are a lot younger than ours. And they went into the kids' playground. And in the kids' playground, they've got these trampolines, but they're kids-safe trampolines, which is basically what they are, is like, if you can imagine a 60-foot wide cushion made out of air, right? And it's buried in the ground.
Yep.
So you just got kind of a very shallow arch, but it's very big and it's full of air. Anyway, so the kids are jumping up and down on this, and I'm standing there looking at Carol's brother, and I said, they're going up and down so light on that thing that if one of us jumped on it, they'd probably take off. And so Michael, that's his name, turned around and looked at me. He goes, yeah, they probably would. That'd be really funny, wouldn't it? And I went, right. And I ran at it. I ran straight at it. I jumped on the fucking thing. All the kids went up in the air. It was like they all started jumping up and down. And my massive counterweight is bouncing them up in the air. Suddenly, Carol's brother decides, I'm going to have a bit of that because I'm going to be sort of super uncle as well. So he comes in, jumps on. Now he's smaller than me, but he's still a pretty big bloke, and he jumped on the bloody thing. So then I'm going up in the air, and then it's like becoming a sort of perpetual motion machine. I'm going up in the air higher and landing harder, and he's going up in the air higher and landing harder. It's like really weird. And then all of a sudden I thought, okay, this is getting out of control. I've got to get off. I walked down the slope to get off. He jumps one last time. He jumps, the whole thing springs up, and it hasn't got my weight on it to counteract it. So then what happens is it bounces up, it catches me under the arse. I fly about 1.5 foot up in the air, and I land with all my weight on my left ankle. Oh, my right ankle, sorry. And it went, and it snapped. And I just like, fuck! And I just went down like a sack of spuds. Everyone else, the whole world carries on. I'm sitting there, I'm holding my ankle, I'm going, fuck it, ow! And one of my niece comes along and she looks and she goes, I think we've broken Uncle Lee. Anyway, Carol and Michael's wife, Jackie, they're sitting over on the benches having a cup of tea. I'm still rolling around on the floor, going, fuck it, I can't put any weight on it. Oh, everyone's bouncing away on the fucking trampolines. Oh, don't worry about Lee, he's fucking dead. Oh, don't worry about him. Right? They're all bouncing around like that. Carol looks over, and finally, one of the dads from another trampoline comes running down. He goes, you all right, mate? And I was like this. He goes, have you broken your ankle? Let's test if you've broken your ankle. Don't worry, I can help you, like this sort of thing. And he held my ankle, and he's kind of trying to twist it. And I'm going, no. And he's going, no, I think you've done a really bad sprain. Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, cut to the other side. This is a story I get later on. Carol's sitting there at the table just going, I bet that bloke's come over to tell him off for bouncing on the kids' trampolines. not, wonder why my husband's rolling on the floor and this man's now got him by the ankle and is rolling him around. No. It's got to be Lee's fault. It's got to be Lee's fault. And then
Always.
no fucking support, no support, no fucking nothing. Everyone, let's go for another walk around the park. He's like, around the fucking park? I'm like limping at 1 mile an hour. And then, like, the gods send a thundercloud, which must have had Thor fucking surfing on it. He comes flying over, starts pissing with rain. Do they come back with an umbrella while I'm walking at 1 mile an hour? Do they fuck? No, they've got to get to the fucking the fucking dinner hall. Man alive, that dinner hall. They see some spare tables in there. They run.
Well, was there a hog roast going?
No, some shitty fucking peas and rice or something in a box. It's like, oh no, we would have come back. We would have walked with you, Lee, but there was an empty table. We had to get the empty table. It's like I'm standing there looking like someone's tried to do the ice bucket challenge on me for about an hour. I'm just like, fucking hell. And then all I got, the biggest bit of sympathy I got was Carol saying, "I'll tell you what, I'll drive." When it came to coming home, it's like, "Oh, cheers, that's nice." Ankle like a fucking watermelon. Yeah, well, it's okay. We'll go round the park for a few hours.
And you didn't break a hip or anything?
No. But then I did have to do. But then I was walking with the slowest kid, and that was my youngest niece.
Yeah,
Isla. And we're walking past, and as I'm walking past, she's just got sort of rudimentary sort of chatting skills at the moment. And she's looking at all these animals, and we walked past the chicken thing, and I had to put up with, while walking at 2 mile an hour, her going, "Big cock, big cock, big cock, big cock," at the chickens. So there I was, a limping pervo.
She weren't pointing at you when she was saying that, was she?
Soaked to the fucking skin, pervo, walking along with a little kid, go, "Big cock, big cock." So that was that. And then we went to see Pink Floyd.
Yes.
Or the Australian Pink Floyd, which was...
but that wasn't the highlight of the evening,
That was not the highlight. It was a really good concert. Let's just preface that. It was a really good concert. But,
oh, yeah, it was.
But the actual first band that came on they were brilliant. they were brilliant in their awfulness.
For all the wrong reasons.
If anyone tells you that Hotel California doesn't need a 10-minute trombone solo, they are wrong. Tuba solo.
It was, yeah, the lead singer went, "Tuba solo!"
Yeah.
I thought to myself, is that Hans' rather heftier brother?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he sang like a pub singer, didn't he? He was like Vic Reeves.
Vic Reeves. He was like, "Rising there, back in the street, I see my tail to my cheeks." Oi! What else did he do? They did Eye of the
Tiger. They did a really modern song.
I'm sure they did a Public Enemy set as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All with tubas.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it was a tuba, a bass guitar, and a drum.
A second to the side, I know you hate man to eat. You gonna get some. Music was a tune.
Yeah, it was Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which also
sounds amazing.
And Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits, which also had a 10-minute tuba solo, didn't it?
Elton, forget the hog roast for next year, right? Okay, You've got to get this band in.
Yeah.
You'll love them.
I do the Sultans. The Sultans of Swing. It was like 20 boats coming into dock while someone tried to do a bad pub singer impression on.
I love that bit where he goes, "Are there any requests?" And somebody shouted something out, and he went, "We just did that one."
So there was that, wasn't there? That was good.
That was great. And I've got to say also, the average age of a Pink Floyd fan going to one of these no, they're 49, something like that, right? Okay, in their 50s. Most of these old blokes, I mean, it's a good job the concert T-shirts, the actual tour T-shirts were only $5, because some of these blokes, they come out in shorts and T-shirts, and you can tell as the night's going on, concert, the sun goes down, so it's like, this isn't midsummer anymore, it's now getting on to winter, right? So some of these blokes are actually wearing. They bought extra large size, and they're wearing these t-shirts as moo-moos. Fucking scarves as well. There
was a guy who looked like Old Man Steptoe, and he'd obviously bought a tent with Pink Floyd drawn on the side and just wrapped it around his body. I mean, everyone looked very, very old. I thought there would be an actual mortality count by the end of it. Seriously, but the concert itself, very good.
Oh, it was excellent. Very good. Fantastic.
But, it was really funny. There was a few empty seats, so we ended up sort of jumping down towards the front, didn't we?
Yeah, because we had the Richard and Judy chat show going on behind us, and then we had the Cockney fucking Lovin' right in front of us. I'm not joking. They were either standing up or they were cuddling each other. This like 6 blokes. Every time some song came, it was like arms around one another. Billy's like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah,
right down the front.
We got up and we literally jumped like 20. We went from £40 seats to £70 seats.
Yeah,
because we couldn't stand sitting behind these cocks any longer. And then behind us was like real old time hippies, the guys who had been through the summer of love and basically got none.
Yeah,
and one looked like Judge Death in a beret, and
he looked like Judge Death in a beret. He's a bit skeletal and not very nice.
And basically every time a song from Pink Floyd came on that was post-Wall, he went, "Oh, not this fucking shit. Well, then you're gonna play Emily Player." And he's like, "Oh, for God's sakes, you want like the real old sort of 60s stuff."
I come here expecting them to play Gumma.
Yeah, but I've set the controls for the Heart of the Sun. That's what I want. And every time they did it, he was like, so we basically fucked off to the other end of the stadium.
And it was just like the Pulse concert or the
runtime, the run
concert
list.
we went to see back in '94, but with an Australian accent.
Yes.
That was it.
And instead of inflatable Ralph Steadman pigs, we had inflatable Ralph Steadman kangaroos.
Indeed, we did.
I did see the picture of that. That did look good.
And just before we wrap this bit up, the bit that I really enjoyed the most is...
Wish You Were Here?
Yeah, Wish You Were Here.
Oh,
basically,
yes.
I don't know how... Are you any of you guys Floyd fans of any kind of description at all?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, okay.
You know the track,
at the beginning of Wish You Were Here, there's the whole thing of the person sort of scrubbing through an old radio, isn't there? So it goes and it goes into the main song. Well, the Australian Pink Floyd had their version, which was on the wall, which was shown on this sort of projector, and essentially it starts off by going neighbours, and then it switches to Skippy the Bush Kangaroo. Then it goes to Home and Away. Then
Kylie video. Then it did a
Kylie
Can't Get You Out of My Head.
Yeah, Kylie video, Can't Get You Out of My Head. Then it did Paul Hogan going, "This isn't a knife. This is a knife." and then finally which was really nice little touch.
Fantastic.
It was lovely, and and the light show was really cool as well.
Oh God, wasn't it?
They had these lasers which were tied up to the actual guy's strings, guitar strings. So when they basically played the guitars,
strings on the corks on these hats.
Anyway, every time he flipped his hat, the corks flipped. That was it. But no, the lasers would actually strum in time with the actual strings.
Yeah, it's great.
Which was really quite nice.
But I'll tell you what, there were so many lasers there, I'm sure a good few people in the audience actually had their eyesight corrected by the end of it. They were just all over the place. It was great.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
So, that's the short version of my 2 weeks.
Long version available on a 3-disc set from Ronco.
Cartel Records proudly presents. You can't buy this in any shop because it's shit. No, the other thing is I got a gig starting in October, very short run gig, which is I don't know if anyone's heard of this. There was a Kickstarter for a short movie, a short Predator film.
Oh right, yeah.
And the long and short of it is called Predator Dark Ages, and they finally got all their cash together, and they brought me on board as the visual effects supervisor.
Ooh,
so I'm going to be spending like a weekend in October up in Richmond, basically filming a
Deepest,
guy.
darkest Richmond.
Deepest darkest Richmond in the forest, filming a guy covered in red foam, pretending to be a predator, running through forest, being chased by guys in sort of knight's armor. So it's going to be either really, really cool, or it's going to be Monty Python and the life of the Holy Predator Grail.
I can just see Arnold Schwarzenegger and the rest of the guys marching their way through the walls of Richmond. Billy, you seem to have cut yourself. I'll be going to Superdrug to get you some plasters.
No, it's going to be forsooth. If this demon bleeds, we can smite it. Get thee to the trebuchet. So that was cool. So that's coming up. That should be fun. All very cold and wet because it's all night filming apparently.
Is it?
But I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, we'll worry about that when that happens. Right. I think that's enough for now. And I'll probably have some acid flashback and go, oh, fuck, I remember something. But now, I guess it's time for the news.
Here is the news. We've got some news. Fucking big news. Here comes the news.
Right, so news. We've got no fucking news. We have TV adaptation news this week, which is... Go on, Jim. What ones are being made into TV?
In spades. Right. It has been reported that Godzilla scribe Mac Borenstein is writing the TV version of Minority Report for Amblin Television.
Right, okay, so let's do that one first then. Minority Report. What did we think of the film first?
Yeah, it was all right.
I thought the film was okay.
That's cool. Okay, so...
Yeah, it was all right.
I'm surprised you've seen it, Elton.
I was thinking of something else, sorry.
The Rock. Pete?
That was Tom Cruise
Pulling his own eyes out.
pulling his eyes out on that with Colin Farrell as
Colin
the baddie
Farrell?
in that one.
Was it?
Yeah.
He was, yeah, that's what. Yeah, not a bad little movie that.
Okay, so then...
But as a TV show,
Okay.
that's going to be Murderer of the Week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 'cause it was the whole premise, isn't it? For those who don't know, it's loosely based on a Philip K. Dick story where the police have precogs and they predict future crimes, and the police arrest people before they commit them.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I can see kind of the inverse cop show sort of logic of why people think it might make a good TV show, but how far you can go with it, I don't know. But
Give it a Fox, cancel it after 4 weeks.
Cancel it before they put it on air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's either going to be Freak of the Week or... I mean, they could do the old Logan's Run TV show where it's like he gets framed for murder in the first episode and then he's on the run for the rest of the series.
With an android with big bushy eyebrows. Why would you put big fucking bushy eyebrows on an android? Seriously.
Why not?
it's a serious cybernetic style design decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're data scrubbers. Honest.
Oh dear. Yeah. So we're kind of meh about that, are we? We're all a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. It might work, probably won't. But you know, let's face it. I'll watch a couple to see what it's like.
Nice.
So, that's the realistic view.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Okay then. So what's the next TV show then? Next adaptation?
Yes, Sam Raimi has announced he's developing a TV series based on the Evil Dead series, which will have Bruce Campbell back as Ash.
Nice. Now
That's the only detail there is, but at least that is at least from the horse's mouth, not some bullshit speculation for a change.
It does make a change. Okay. So, then. Evil Dead TV series. What can we do with that? What do you reckon?
If it's Bruce Campbell, it could have him reminiscing on days gone by, as it were.
What, like Indiana Jones?
Telling the grandkids.
Hey, kids. I remember when I shot your mother in the face.
It could have the
How I dismembered your mother.
It could be that the actual Evil Dead have taken over, and that's it, and it's him with a band of feisty rebels.
Feisty rebels
taking back what's theirs.
Okay.
So comedy Walking Dead, then.
Yeah, something like that. Zombieland.
Okie dokie. Right. And what about you, Elton? What do you reckon?
Well, AMC are doing so well with Walking Dead at the moment. It's one of the biggest TV shows on at the moment, so it's no surprise that someone wants to cash in on that.
Yeah.
But whether it would work or not, I don't know. I think there's a massive fan base for The Walking Dead already, and just aping it wouldn't really work.
No, that's true. Okay, right. So that's middle of the road again. So we're doing good on middle of the road non-news. So that's what's the next adaptation, Jim?
Martin Scorsese is going to direct the pilot for a Shutter Island television prequel.
Prequel? I didn't know it was a prequel. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's got HBO and Paramount have come together for this. And Scorsese's directing the pilot episode with the script from Dennis Lehane, who is the author who wrote the original novel.
Oh, right.
Believed to be titled Ashencliff, which is the name of the mental hospital in the film, the show will, quote, explore the universe of Shutter Island in the years before the events of the movie.
Okay.
Did everyone like the movie?
I liked it, but then I kind of... I mean, I have only seen it, like, once, and I remember getting to about 3/4 of the way through and then going, I think I know where this is going to end.
Oh,
and I got... Yeah. So, yeah, I did like it. I thought there was a potential in the sort of setup. Not sort of under. I can't really say anything because Darren hasn't seen it. It's quite a good film.
Right.
No,
It is a very good film. Yeah.
I really liked it. Though I guessed where it was going to go, but it was one of those. It was just so well told. If you know what I mean, it was a tale well told. And it was still, even though kind of I did sort of guess, that didn't sort of lessen my enjoyment of it. There was it's kind of, when I heard the Shutter Island TV series, are you fucking kidding me? But when you sort of hear the people who are involved, it's kind of, you think, oh no, well maybe that could work. Actually, that could work. That'd be I'd be intrigued to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm that's probably out of the ones I've heard so far. That's probably the one I think has got the most potential because you could have different inmates inside the whole thing. And
didn't they try this with Alcatraz before?
Yeah, but then they had the whole thing of being fucking time traveling warp hole bollocks. Typical. Oh, it's a mystery.
Yeah, typical Abrams.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. I know you got your. I know you got your love for Lost. I didn't want to poke the bear there, Elton.
That's fine.
The fucking end makes no sense. Anyway, 7 fucking years.
Keep going.
Yeah,
work it out.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Star Trek Into Darkness, bastard. Anyway, it's going to turn into Tourette's. But no, with Shutter Island, the one thing that is interesting, and I'm trying to say this without any spoilers, is that it's the way that they deal with a particular inmate's issues by playing it out, don't they? Essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything more than that.
Okay.
Because that's obviously, any further than that would give a lot away. But
I do want to watch it.
That's good. But
the disc we had was corrupt, so it kind of played the titles, and then it went.
Stick it on the show list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right then.
Okay.
Then I can justify buying the Blu-ray. Go on.
Am I just an excuse for your accountant? Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think if they did that sort of thing, they took that angle of actually how they deal with inmates, as opposed to putting any supernaturally bollocks in there. I think it could be quite interesting.
Plus, it's Scorsese, the original author, and it's HBO as well.
Yeah, that's the main thing. You get
really
HBO.
You go, all right, souls, I don't care what you're doing about, but I'll give it a go, because it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, there'll be tits, swearing and violence within 5 minutes. Yeah. Excellent. Sold. Right. Any last bits of news?
Thor news now.
Hey. Go on, Jim.
The forthcoming reboot of National Lampoon's Vacation movie has got a new star in the cast, Mr. Chris Helmsworth.
Nice.
We don't know if they've budgeted for a shirt for him, ladies.
No.
More news as we don't get it.
We just don't get it. I mean, okay. If he's actually a lead character in it, I'd be surprised. I reckon.
He should take on the role of Rusty Griswold's brother-in-law and anchorman Stone Crandall.
Can you hear the tumbleweed rolling past?
Sure it's not Crank Handle?
I can hear the sound of people frantically Googling, going, there was an anchorman in National Vacation?
Yeah, I don't remember that. And I thought Rusty was the kid, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
So if it's a reboot, why is he... Oh, I don't understand.
Ed Helms is playing Rusty Griswold, who is now the grown-up son of Chase's Clark Griswold.
And what about Chase?
Chevy Chase is probably just shouting at a lamppost somewhere and swearing at Dan Harmon. There's no because he's involved.
Shouting at traffic.
Apparently, he's in it as a cameo, along with the woman who played his wife in those films. Whichever, didn't they have two actresses?
No, I can't remember. All I know is that one turned up in the bath and then nearly got molested by an English actor. I can't remember for the European Vacation. Oh, no, I can't.
Can we please do Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation
movie, please.
Okay.
Just for the sled. Just for the sled.
Just
scene.
for the sled bit.
I was going to say the bin lid, isn't it?
Just for the sled scene.
Yeah, I bet it's not as funny as you think.
No, it is, because I watched it recently and I sat there laughing my tits off. I really did.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Right.
Got one more.
National Lampoon's Month then, coming soon on the Blackdog, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, episode 300.
Something that's caught my attention.
Go on,
I mentioned a little while ago. It's a new Schwarzenegger movie that's coming out called Maggie. It's basically...
Oh yes, I've heard about this one.
Yeah, it's a zombie film, but it's played more of an emotional piece. It's about a farmer whose daughter gets bitten, and he has to basically take her through, be with her until she actually fully goes over, and it's going to be quite a long, drawn-out process, apparently. So...
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Is there any news on whether or not there'll be an Arnold Schwarzenegger version of Maggie May being sung as the theme tune?
Wake up, Maggie. I think I've got something to say to you.
It is late September and I'm really
It's been late September since on your face they did chew.
I laughed at all of your jokes. Do it.
Yeah.
Kill me. I'm right here. Sorry.
That's been picked up by Lionsgate. Anyway, they finally got a distributor for it.
Cool.
It's coming out early next year.
Lovely. Sounds good.
It'll be.
Did anyone see the trailer for the Automata?
Yes.
Automata.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, that looks good
Antonio
too.
Banderas and Blade Runner meets robots. Nice.
Yeah, but it looks like the robots are done really, really well, and not just animated.
No, it's practical
Their
effects, the
actual
whole lot.
personalities are really, really good.
It does look really cool. I did see the trailer and I kind of swore that I wasn't going to look at it anymore because I kind of got a sense that I knew where it was going, and I think there's going to be a twist in it, but I don't know for sure. So I'm going to just refuse to see any more about it because it looked really, really cool.
Okay, I'll message you about the twist because I reckon I know what the twist might be as well.
Yeah, they were kind of hinting at it in the trailer with the lady bot.
It sounds like it's going to be AI with its face gone to the menders.
No, I hope it's not AI.
I fucking hated
I
AI.
can't stand AI.
Fucking hated that film.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking vengeance.
What's the matter with AI?
What do you mean, what's wrong with AI? It's the most miserable, horrible, cynical, nasty...
It's totally unforgiving. It's
And
just a horrible, nasty movie. There's absolutely there's nothing to recommend this film whatsoever.
Yeah. And,
you know?
And Jude Law's in it.
Yeah.
And Jude Law's in it.
And
I thought you were describing Jude Law then.
And then
There is that as well, yeah.
And then just for good measure, they just go, it's aliens. And then just, da-da, like that makes any fucking sense at all.
Just horrible, nasty...
It's like Spielberg
horrible film.
It's like Spielberg woke up in the last 5 minutes and went, shit, I've made a Kubrick movie. Oh, crap. I've got to stick a happy ending on. So, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we will do AI at some point.
Fuck yeah. Do we have to?
What we're going to do?
Jesus Christ.
We're going to do the Abyss. We might as well do AI.
I'll tell you what, I bet I'm going to sandwich it in between two fucking comedy movies. I'll tell you that now, because I'm going to need it after that.
All right.
Watch something to cheer yourself up.
Yeah, or put the fucking Expendables on after it or something like that. Just something totally silly.
Yeah, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, something like that, you know?
Nice. Okay. And on that note, shall we move on? Actually, you know what? I haven't said this for a while. Have you seen this piece of paper before? Oh. Yay! Crazy talk!
Where have all the heroes gone? We're left with all the knobs. I just want one Superman and not this bunch of slobs. Not a single one of them could take on Mr. Freeze. They're so lightweight they could get blown away in a stiff breeze. The shitty heroes, the Spanish costumes are just a little bit too tight. They're not very cool and they're not very fast, and they're most likely die in a fight. It's shitty heroes. Just one look at these dudes and you know they ain't right. Marvel DC doesn't mean much to me because they are a total shite.
Hulk smash! Puny Launch Singer.
Right, okay, welcome back to Shitty Superheroes. And have I got one for you? Now, you may have to work out what I may have been Googling at the time to find this one. But anyway, firstly, let's start with the full name. The full name is a guy called Ernest Franklin. Listen for the clicking of the keys as Jim dives in. Start looking for him. He featured in the DC Comics Doom Patrol. He is a villain. And so, he has no hobbies whatsoever, apparently. And he has no real goals at all. But anyway.
It's a stuffed Alsatian, I believe, though.
Anyway.
I know this one. I know I do.
It's not the Fister.
No.
No, not the Fit. No.
No,
Okay.
Ernest was born with a hormone deficiency that prevented him from growing a beard. The young man, known as Ernest Franklin, grew resentful of beards and began a one-man war against facial hair, hunting down and killing unfortunate individuals and taking their beards as trophies. He's performing this gruesome and bizarre behaviour when he was 36 and living at home with his mother. When not committing murder, he's seen obsessing with bodybuilding magazines, and he has dubbed himself the Beard Hunter.
Beard Hunter.
Beard Hunter. So we have the Beard Hunter, this week's shitty superhero. He's got no skills whatsoever. And funny enough, he's delusional enough that he believes that a movie would eventually be made of his career. Of course, this never happened. Beard Hunter has 0 powers and no skill with handguns, and in fact was a poor hand-to-hand fighter, and that's about the size of it. There you go. Beard Hunter.
Well, you say it loud enough, then Sony might actually put him in the next Spider-Man film.
Well, there you go. Take a look at that there, Dale, and see if you can describe it for Pete, who cannot see at the moment.
Oh, my God.
And like I say, be careful what you Google, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't Google Merkin, whatever you do.
Okay.
I never even mentioned Merkin. What the fuck are you Merkin?
It's kind of like this is the bloke that failed the audition for the fucking, what they call him, the Punisher.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Imagine the Punisher in red. How the skull isn't in the centre of his chest. It's kind of over one breast, and it's a skull with a big white beard on it. And around his belt, instead of the usual Liefeld style pouch mayhem, he has the scalps of his victims, i.e. a row of beards hung from his belt.
It does look like he's gone and beheaded Santa. Bring me the head of Santa Claus.
So there you go. Shitty superhero Beard Hunter. And now that I've found Doom Patrol, I think I'm going to be giving a lot more shitty superhero coming soon, because I found a list of them, man, and they are cracking.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
So there you go. But if you have any shitty superheroes you'd like to send in, then please do send them in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com, or put them on Facebook. But if you put them on Facebook, as a couple of people have done in the last couple of weeks, please bear in mind that if your link to the character goes missing, that's because I'm hiding them from Jim, Elton, and Darren. So there you go. I have seen them.
Of course, you've missed out the quote from Beard Hunter himself.
Go on.
Here it says, "Niles Calder, I've come for your beard." And he's holding a smoking Uzi in his hand,
which, from the sound of it, he can't really fire particularly well.
No.
So
he does have my word, that's a very, very well placed beard he's got on his belt there.
Has he?
Yeah, because it's covering his bollocks.
Oh, for God's sakes.
It looks like his beard's got a bollocks. His bollocks have got a beard.
Yeah. The Beard Hunter issue is hilarious, because he comes from Niles Calder, who's Doom Patrol's wheelchair-bound leader. And if you think, hang on, a group of superhero misfits with a genius leader in a wheelchair, they ripped off the X-Men. Wrong. The X-Men were ripped off Doom Patrol, fact fans.
Ah.
Doom Patrol were first.
Ah.
Yeah. The Beard Hunter, I mean, it's a superb... the bits from the Beard Hunter probably are written in a beautiful Miller-esque pastiche of where he's hunting Niles Calder in a supermarket. I smash every single box of Rice Krispies because I can. Calder won't get away. I stop in the oil aisle. I put fishbowl and rubber on my pecs. Make him glisten good.
Oh my God.
Nice. Cool. Well, there you go. So, that's Shitty Superheroes for this week. Now, as per Pete's request, we'll get the jingle ready, and then we'll be in for a bit of a profannasaurus.
Yes, indeedy.
Excellent. Hold on. Let me find that jingle. I've got to find that bloody jingle.
Class. Right. Worm in a bucket. Euphemism. To engage in unsatisfactory sexual congress of the type that's also referred to as trying to fill the Albert Hall with a hot dog, and in geek circles as it's like those seconds of watchable robot action in the usual 3 hours of migraine-inducing, soul-destroying, intelligence-insulting, time-wasting, brain-killing, turd-wrangling, arse-cracking, shit-stabbing, puss-sucking, vomit-inducing, hemorrhoid-spawning, fuck-tarding bayformers.
Fucking hell, Jim. I won't put the end track on that. I'll just let that stand as a testament to your lungs.
I'm going to golf clap that.
I think
that's very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice. Right then. Well, that's fantastic. How many times did you practice that?
None.
Oh, wicked. Right then. Well, let's move on then to this week's shitty. Well, no, not shitty superhero. God Almighty! I've just gone back 10 minutes in time. What happened?
We're not doing that again.
No. Beard Hunter. Oh shit! No, hold on. My brain. Let's go on to this week's Rose Tinted Specs, which is James Gunn's Slither.
Think back to the films you remember as good, ones you haven't viewed in a while. How the story rocked and the actors were great, the camera work had flair and style. What would happen now if you watch them today? Are they still as fresh as before? Or do they stink as bad as a piss-covered tramp and leave you screaming on the floor? You know it can be real sad. Find that special film is bad. Wish you just left it a pleasant memory. Now it's time for rose tinted specs on Blackdog. Watching movies from the past you thought was great. Yes, it's time for rose tinted specs on Blackdog. Send your feedback in and tell us how they rate.
Right, okay, so this week's movie, Slither, directed by James Gunn, written by James Gunn, starring Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, Greg Henry, Michael Rooker. Elizabeth Banks, by the way, I just got to stop for a second. It's just... Yeah.
Intermission?
Yeah.
Albatross.
Golf clap.
Golf clap. I think,
clap.
yeah, definitely.
Golf clap.
It's been a while. I have to say, I noticed. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
It's either the sound of 4 guys golf clapping or doing something else.
Okay, let's put it this way: if suddenly one of their microphones goes muffled, then you know they've won the biscuit game.
Yep, we're either golf clapping or hand fapping.
Anyway, moving swiftly on, it was released by Universal Pictures. Hold on. Oh, God almighty. Sorry about that. And released in 2006. It had a budget of $15 million and didn't exactly set the box office on fire by getting a box office of $12 million. So that didn't do very well.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Gunn was said to be influenced by a wave of graphically violent horror B-movies of the late 1970s and early 80s, largely created by John Carpenter, Lloyd Kaufman and David Cronenberg. In fact, just to jump straight off the wiki, did you notice that the mayor's surname, he was McCready?
Yes.
Yeah. The thing. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, moving on. However... controversy ensued over many similarities and plot points shared with Fred Decker's 1986 horror comedy Night of the Creeps, including the following. The high concept idea central to both films is that both movies feature alien slugs that are parasitic worms that enter the brains of their host through the mouth, transforming them into zombie incubators for more alien parasites. Despite Gunn's claim that he'd based the parasitic worms on David Cronenberg's Shivers, the worms' behaviour is identical to those from Night of the Creeps, in that are excitable, quick, slippery, changing their host almost immediately into mindless, rotting zombies. Whereas in Shivers, the parasites are small, quiet, hidden presences that simply elevate sexual urges in their host. And a homage to the Blob, with a key opening scene in both films, the alien meteorite crashing to Earth, a climax in both movies where the aliens join together to form a massive blob to show down against the survivors, only to be killed by a massive fiery explosion. Both films share the gimmick of naming characters and places but after notable cult directors, most notably in the works of John Carpenter, and both films share a trick ending where a domesticated household pet is infected by a surviving alien parasite. The only difference between the two films is that Slither changes the pet from a small dog to a cat. And that appears to be the only difference. Night of the Creeps director Decker commented on the controversy by saying, and I quote, "Slither didn't necessarily knock the box office on its arse. I therefore think there's an argument to be made that audiences don't want to see a movie about zombies with slugs in their heads." Further controversy ensued after Gunn, who's a self-proclaimed cult horror film fan, said that he'd never actually seen Night of the Creeps until after he'd made Slither, a claim that was greeted with a backlash and challenged as dishonest by several critics and horror film fans, especially when it was pointed out the likelihood that Gunn never heard of Creeps when surrounded by and working with hundreds of cast and crew who are familiar with the film, suggested he was covering up his knowledge of the film. Anyway. Gunn has stated, however, that both David Cronenberg's Shivers and his 1979 film The Brood were the two biggest influences on the story, along with the 2000 film manga Umzaki. I can never pronounce that. Slither also pays homage to the studio Troma films, where Gunn began his career. Troma co-founder Lloyd Kaufman had a cameo as the sad drunk, and in one scene there was a clip of the Troma film Toxic Avenger. Slither received generally positive reviews. A film review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave it 86%. The consensus stating that it's a slimy, rotten B-movie homage oozing with affection for low-budget horror films. Slither is a tale of creepy, crawly little beasts that invade small-town USA, and equally creepy and funny. Critics say it's one of the most enjoyable of its type in years, as long as you've got the stomach for that sort of thing. Entertainment Weekly listed it as number 1 on the must-see list of 10 things we love this week, and Slither picked up 2006's Fangoria Chainsaw Award for the highest body count and garnered nominations from in the category of Relationship from Hell and Dude You Don't Want to Mess With That and Looks Can Kill categories. Additionally, the horror magazine Rue Morgue named Slither the best feature film of the year for that year. And among the critics who did not like the film, Roger Ebert and Richard Roeper gave Slither 2 thumbs down, rating it on their television show, with Roeper saying that he was all zombied out by this point, after reviewing a wave of zombie-themed films from the year before. Guest critic Michael Phillips named Slither his DVD pick of the week on television show Ebert and Roeper. However, Slither was listed as top 25 DVDs of the year by Rolling Stone magazine. It was a flop, but then made it all up in DVD. And I'll leave it there. So, who wants to go first with Slither? I think we should hand over to our guest first. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Pete, this is it. This is your spotlight moment, mate. So you go, no pressure. Just the whole 12 people who listen to the Black Dog are now listening to you. No pressure.
It's my fault that we're watching this, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So.
Yeah. So I apologise if anybody didn't like it, but I don't care. I love this film. It's, as you say, it draws influences from all over the place, whether Gunn admits it or not. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It just draws from everything, and it's just got that kind of look and feel of a nice, gooey, splattery, vaguely disgusting 80s B-movie. It's brilliant. I just love it. It just, the look and the feel of the whole thing. It could have been quite mean-spirited, especially the whole Brenda scene. Mm-hmm. But I think the main thing that draws it away from that sort of perspective is the boy Fillion. I know certainly people either love him or hate him. I'm one of those that I think he's in enough things. I think he's brilliant. He's one of those people that you watch and think, I bet he's a bloody good laugh, and you can go down the pub with him. But I could never get the whole Fillion for Pope campaign around sort of 2005, 2006. I couldn't get on board with that because I think if you have too much of Fillion, he will irritate the living shit out of you. As James Gunn actually said on, I think it's on the extras for the DVD.
Yeah.
Fillion cost the production of Slither thousands of pounds because, in James Gunn's words, he doesn't understand movie making. The sort of thing he would do is they'd film a scene and he'd be wearing a hat and everything would be fine. If it right, we just want to retake a few sort of different angles on that and all the rest of it, and he'd forget to put the hat on. So, or he'd have a jacket on in one scene and then take it off because it was too hot. He just doesn't get it. He just doesn't understand filmmaking at all. But him, I mean, essentially playing Mal Reynolds again. He just makes the film. He just carries the heart of the film throughout, and it just the way he interacts with people, and it just really works. I mean, stupid one-liners from him and various different things. I just love it. I mean, it works really well, and it is a proper. It's not. I suppose Shaun of the Dead is your obvious horror comedy, but this is a close second, I'd say, because it's, as I say, its heart's in the right place. It's not too mean-spirited. And it's just a bloody good laugh and a good romp. And the effects in it as well, certainly the practical, gooey, sloppy effects, certainly when Michael Rooker starts changing, I think they work really well as well, especially when he's sort of halfway, as it were, with his mouth curling up to the right. I just think that looks really good, and it just looks painful as well.
Yeah.
But I think Slither does, it does contain one of my favourite ever movie deaths, and that's the chap with the yellow baseball cap in the field.
Oh, what, slapped down the middle?
Yeah, I just love that, the way he just kind of looks down and just sort of everything just pours out. Whether that was done on a computer or whether that was a practical effect, I don't know, but I love it. It just looks really good. That was
a bit of both, actually, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it probably was, but it just looks really good. It sets it up from there. I think it's brilliant. Love it.
Cool. Okie dokie. Right, so there you go. Well done. You've done well, man. Boy, done good.
Indeed.
So, who wants to go next? Okay, right, fine. I'm going to pick a straw. Go on, Elton.
Okay, I'll go. I have to echo what Peter said. I quite liked it. It is a Sunday movie, Sunday evening B movie, but it does look great. It really does. The practical effects, that last blob thing where you have all the bodies whining around in perfect synchronization as well. Their looks on their faces are just, they're just scary. Even thinking about it, the way that they actually look at you, that it is that the Thing view of, when they find the guy outside and he hasn't quite changed yet, and he looks at them and just opens his mouth and starts going, oh! They have that sort of appearance to it.
Yeah.
And it is that scariness that really got me on it. The only downside I have on this movie was I found it had a bit of a pace on it in the very first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It seemed as if it was spinning its wheels a bit too quickly, as if they couldn't write it down quick enough for them to film it. And I felt there was a bit where some pets were gone, and one of the I can't remember the lady, but she drove up, saw the board of all the missing pets, and I thought, oh, that would have been nice if they'd slowly had like the pets going missing, and then all of a sudden it's a thing about pets missing everywhere, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that was a bit rushed for me.
Yeah,
because you only get the one foreshadowing, don't you? Where Roscoe gets it, doesn't he? You just hear the yelp off screen.
Yeah. But I thought he was really good. I thought he was quite funny in places as well. Like the balloon lady. I call her the balloon lady. Could you just pass me that possum?
I'm so hungry.
And for me, Fillion, when I first saw this, I didn't even know anything about Firefly, so I had no qualms about him being in there. I've now learnt that everyone adores him, and he has got a little halo above his head. But that didn't detract from it. You know, there was nice moments where he was in the car and he said, "Well, okay, so
How's
everyone having a good night?" And it worked. It works really, really well. So it's a thumbs up from me, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Is this the first time you've seen it?
No, it's the second time I've seen it.
Cool. Okay, just asking. I wasn't being funny with that one. Don't worry.
That's fine.
I wasn't being snarky. Don't panic. No, I was just. It was just because I was just. I didn't really know. We didn't get really get round to asking people about this film before we sort of broke off last time. So I was just trying to work it out. Cool. Okay. Well, who wants to go between Jim and Darren?
I'll go next.
You'll go next. Okay, then, sir. Then you go next. What did you think of this?
Right. Well, this is a first-time viewing for me. Okay. So, I have to say, this is the kind of little B movie that I absolutely adore. It's it's got everything in it. It's just nice little package right there of everything I love about these kinds of films that are, when they're done really, really well and they've got a good sense of humour about themselves.
Yeah.
Delivery is everything in this film. Okay, you've got lines that said by anyone else might just seem normal, like "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
The way Nathan Fillion delivers that line, I think I can't remember which thing he looks at, but it's just a pause and it's just "What the fuck is that?"
Is that the deer?
I think it might be the deer. Yeah, it's just and there's a couple of times when he says stuff that's just normal stuff, but it's the way he says them.
When I get out of this, I'm going to tell everyone how I saved you from the deer.
That's right. Yeah, going to say the other way around. That's it. Yeah. Tell him about the deer. Yeah. Tell him about the Twinkie.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people say that Nathan Fillion's really, really good in this film, and he is. But I also think that a little sort of like, a little golf clap should go to Michael Rooker as well in the role that he played.
Come on, baby doll.
Yeah. There's the thing about what I like about the way that character was written. He wasn't just a black and white sort of, deep south hillbilly type of, overpowering type of bloke.
Yeah.
You could see he really loves his wife from the fact that he could have gone with that girl and he didn't. And even when he's been bitten and he starts transforming, he's fighting it all the way. His love for that woman is so great that he kind of goes off and kills other people instead of killing her.
Yeah.
It's like just forcing himself out the door to go find someone else.
Yeah.
He's like, there was that woman I met the other night. She'll do.
Yeah.
And it's not until he's, midway through transformation to whatever it is he transforms into in the end, that he finally does give in to sort of like paranoia, and it just drives him.
She has to stab him in the neck, in fairness.
Exactly. So it's like his character's such a strong-willed character that it takes that before he actually goes ahead and tries to impregnate her with all the other bits and bobs, if you pardon the expression.
Yeah. Alien gut spunk.
Alien gut spunk, yeah.
You need to be going all woo me.
Yeah, well, that's all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bit where the woman explodes and all the fucking slugs just come out. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
The fuck? The mayor as well. I liked him. I know he's a bit of a twat, but McCready, brilliant. You know, it's like they try to get in my fucking mouth.
What thing wants to get eaten? Get itself eaten. Yeah.
But that's where it's trying a bit of paranoia as well, because you didn't know whether it did get in his mouth or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you could see the sort of reaction that people have when it does go in. It's like, it's clear that he's not been infected. It's only later on that he gets kind of done and then changes. And I did like that where he stands there and he goes, "Kill me," and you expect a long drawn out scene. It's just, all right then.
Yeah, think. Just carries on going. Yeah, carries on walking.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed it, yeah?
I really enjoyed it. Even the bits where they start acting like a hive mind, and Michael Rooker's character is basically telling his wife, "Look, I'm really sorry about what I've done.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't my fault." And then, of course, the evil alien entity kind of takes over and starts calling her a fucking bitch and all that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
So even that I really enjoyed. It was just a really good little film. I mean, it's like I'm trying to think what other films that were like that I really enjoyed. Not Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
No, Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh,
that one.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's the same kind of. It's got the same kind of feel about
Tremors.
it. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay,
Excellent.
cool. Okie dokie. So, now, Jim.
Okie dokie.
Because I saw your Facebook status yesterday. Go on.
Well, first I'd say this is a very good little B movie.
Yeah.
I mean, watching it, this was the first James Gunn directed film I saw, and I've seen Super, and obviously Guardians of the Galaxy, and watching it this time, what really struck me is just how beautifully crafted it is. It's really well shot. The effects are really well done, and it is beautifully put together, and it is a great little B movie. However, for me, I still don't quite see why, when this came out, people weren't quite so nuts for it. On my DVD box, there's some pull quote saying, the best horror comedy since Shaun of the Dead. And it's kind of, no, it's good, but it's not Shaun of the Dead good. And I question horror comedy. Yes, there are some funny bits in it. There are some funny lines, and it's a fun movie. Well, this isn't a horror comedy. This is, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it's closer to Tremors, but Tremors, you've got Shaun of the Dead, there's Tremors, then there's Slither on a spectrum heading away from comedy, from horror comedy stakes. It's firmly there.
Yeah.
And I think when I first watched it, it was that kind of, it's this great tongue-in-cheek, sort of, affectionate homage spoof. And that isn't what Slither is. It is more of a modern-day recreation of very much Night of the Creeps. I mean, that's the other thing. Kind of, for me, it's he's very good, but I know too well everything he's stolen from. Yeah. Which kind of, homaging isn't just doing something again. There's an affection for it, but the fact he hasn't, fessed up to the heavy Nights of the Creeps thing. I go, ooh, you're a bad man. That, makes me want to mark the film down. Yeah. And it is kind of, this is just Night of the Creeps again. What are you playing at?
Yeah, modern reboot.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy Slither. I think kind of what's to be nitpicky. What for me holds it back from being a really great movie, from being kind of achieving Tremors levels, is the fact it's just slightly out of focus in what characters we're following.
Yeah.
And it just skips, as Elton says, there's a bit of sort of wonkiness on the pace. This is proper rose-tinted specs coming off nitpicking bastard territory, I'll grant you. Yeah. And considering this is directorial debut, Christ, most directors can work for years and never produce a film of this quality. Or produced with kind of the care and the love that went into it. Let's put that up front. But I think that's the thing. It just swapped between Elizabeth Banks, between Rooker, between Nathan Fillion. You don't really whereas like in Tremors, you've got, Kevin Bacon and
Fred Ward,
the other fella, and then Fred Ward, and they're that your core, or you've got Sean and Ed. Whereas this, it skips around a bit, but the cast isn't quite big enough to do that kind of small town under attack, lots of stories and threads, sort of Salem's Lot sort of style thing. And it's not a flounder, slight wobble, I'd say there, and it's also it doesn't quite know whether it really wants to stick its tongue further in its cheek and stick it out its ear or not.
No,
and it's kind of like you just nudge it, either play it a bit ickier or a bit funnier, and I'd give it a thoroughly deserving cult classic status. As it is, I think Slither is more kind of now, because it hit the festival circuit and people did overhype it. Oh, it's amazing, but it's the kind of film that at festival crowds do go nuts for, and then everyone else sees it and go, "What are you talking about? It's okay." But it's a film that in a packed theatre with genre fans, it will go down a storm. Whereas, at home, you'll see it more as you'll take it more seriously. If you see what I mean,
yeah.
Because I think it does play it pretty much straight. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. As a first film, it's quite something.
Yeah.
Yes, he did steal a lot. Bad man. I mean, there are, but he's kind of, no. The Brood didn't really influence this storyline. Come on, stop talking bollocks.
No.
Yes, you nicked that bath scene out of Shivers, but come on. This is very little else.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a good little movie. And kind of, it's one of those, actually watching it now, it's not that far from Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
As a lot of people might assume, it's not kind of the same sort of Peter Jackson, bad taste to Lord of the Rings kind of gulf.
No. Yeah, that was something of a jump. But yeah, you kind of go, what? That Aussie that climbed up a tree and pushed his own brains back in his head and then stuck a top and spent the rest of the film running around with a top hat on. He's making Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I mean, for me, I have to say, I watched this. This is probably the second time I've seen it since it was released, and on the one hand, I really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. I didn't come away from it last night thinking, oh Christ, I'm gonna have to. I know how Pete likes this film. I'm gonna have to have an argument with him or anything like that. But I have to say, the one thing I noticed was it wasn't as funny as I remember. There was. I mean, what Darren was saying about sort of like Nathan Fillion's lines and delivery and all that kind of stuff. I remember being in fits when they're all staring at Elizabeth Banks driving a fucking spear through that guy's neck. I remember that really clearly last time I saw it. And then they all get in the car and he's like, "So, how's everybody's week then? All good." And stuff like that. And I remember that. And things like, when he's talking to the girl at the was it radio? And she's nodding, and he's like, "Are you nodding? You're supposed to say,
Shelby, are you nodding?"
Yeah, Shelby, are you nodding?" That's right. And so there's lots of, and I remember enjoying that sort of interplay a lot more. What I actually got this time was actually the bit that made me laugh the most was when everyone was talking about, like, when the mayor was trying to write the whole thing off as Lyme's disease from the bite from the deer, and then you see the deer getting slithered, and then later on it fucking attacks him in the police station and he gets bitten by it, doesn't it? It's like, it's just like that. It was kind of like, that's called burying the lead. There's the gag payoff at the end. He's going to get Lyme's disease. But as far as the film's concerned, I enjoyed it as a film. I didn't enjoy it as a comedy. I sort of sat there kind of thinking, I'm sure I laughed more at this. Sure I did. I did enjoy it, and like I say, with the sort of filter of Guardians of the Galaxy now, I can see that Gunn's thing is to kind of find a musical, so almost like he builds the film around a soundtrack, because that whole thing of "You're every woman in the world to me" just sounds like you could have put that in Guardians of the Galaxy. That could have been an awesome mix too.
It probably will be an awesome.
It might well be an awesome.
It might very well be. And also little things like in both Slither and in Guardians and in Super, at least one person always gets referred to as Ranger Rick.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Because Star-Lord refers to Rocket Raccoon as Ranger Rick, and then they do the same again in Super, and then they do it again here in Slither when the girl who's the girl in the bath, Kylie, she gets out and she calls him Ranger Rick, and so there's little things like that, and I sort of like, oh nice, little things that I didn't notice before, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So overall, I didn't dislike it. The rose tinted specs didn't completely come off. I haven't seen Night of the Creeps, otherwise I'd probably be a bit more critical of it. But overall, I found I really enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it more in a sort of like playing it straight. Because if someone says horror comedy to me, I sort of think Shaun of the Dead, and the next one after that is Evil Dead 2. which is more straightforward slapstick comedy, but it just happens to have gore and blood and ultra violence and everything else thrown on top. This was kind of more very wittily written horror. I think that's kind of where I kind of drew a line. It wasn't comedy. It was just kind of like, oh no, those are funny lines, well delivered, as opposed to
witchy horror. I'd go with that.
Yeah. Rather than a comedy, a straightforward comedy, because there was lots of gags, sort of ripe for the picking. If you know what I mean, there was lots of things you could have done with a lot of that stuff, especially with all these tentacles and everything. You could have got quite grim and quite sex comedy with the whole thing, but they didn't. They just kind of just went, oh, right, okay, now we're going to stop. Now we're going to put everyone in mortal peril. Here comes the ultra violence, and so yeah. I mean, for me, it was just more. It was more like American Werewolf in London. There were funny bits, but it wasn't a comedy.
No.
So there you go. Overall, though, I enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I watched it again, I have to say. So, yeah, overall, thumbs up from me.
Awesome.
Lovely. There you go. Look at that. 1 hour and 35 minutes, and we're in and out. Does anybody want to say anything else before we move on to feedback? Is there anything you'd like to add?
I did forget one thing on the Fillion bit. Do you spot the 2 outtakes that they left in?
Oh, well, you gave me a bit of a heads up on this when we did the sound check yesterday, so I'll step back.
But the 2 that I notice, I absolutely love. It just makes me laugh every time I see it. It's when him and Kylie are running away. She vaults that fence really well, but he just arses it up completely and falls on his head, which apparently was one they left in. And the other one, when he kicks that door open, when they go into the house, kicks the door open, flies back, hits him in the face. Excellent. That's proper Fillion, that is. I love it. Yeah.
I mean, on the whole thing of Nathan Fillion, just away from the movie for the moment, can I just say to fandom in general, right?
Here we go.
Yeah, that that
buckle in.
Yeah.
Here we go, kids. Here we go.
that basically him and Benedict Cumberbatch, okay, and fucking Ryan Gosling. Can we just forget casting them in anything, please? Don't. Whenever a new story comes up, always Fillion, always Benedict Cumberbatch, and it's like, just for fuck's sake, they're okay actors. I mean, Cumberbatch's got a bit of, he's got a bit of something going on right now with all these Lord of the Rings and Khan and fucking dragons and what have you. But Fillion is this generation's Bruce Campbell, right? He's done a couple of good roles. He's a likable enough presence, but he's not the best actor in the universe. Okay? That's not to take anything away from him. That's not to say he's rubbish. It's just, for the love of God, fandom, the world over, I implore you, fucking stop fantasy casting him in everything, please. And then when he's not available, because he's doing something like Castle or something, which he's quite good in, and I enjoy watching him in that, don't immediately revert to fucking Benedict Cumberbatch. You can't have him for everything. The guy cannot be everywhere at once, for fuck's sake. All right? To the universe, I say to thee, there is more than 2 actors in Hollywood. For fuck's sake, use your imagination, you narrow-minded fuckwits.
Yeah, there's Tom Hiddleston as well.
Oh, God. I missed him out, yeah. No,
Hemsworth's quite versatile as well, I hear.
Who?
Hemsworth.
Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah, well, Hemsworth... Yeah, but Hemsworth...
Both Hemsworths.
Oh, yeah, but... On the plus side, though, watching Expendables 2... because you get Liam Hemsworth get kicked in the face with a knife.
With a knife?
Yes.
Kicked in the face with a knife.
Yes. To use the top gear, he gets kicked in the face with a knife. They put a knife in his face, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme roundhouse kicks it the rest of the way into his face.
That sounds like the best movie ever.
Next up on Blackdog, the Expendables weekend. No, we are not doing that. But yeah, so just please, I implore you, everyone, just Tom Hiddleston as well. Thank you for reminding me. But Tom Hiddleston,
Who's that other bloke as well,
Benedict Cumberbatch, and fucking Nathan Fillion. They're all good actors. They're all fine, but they are not the only three actors in the fucking universe.
Who's that English bloke who's always bold and playing bad guys?
Statham.
No, not him.
Patrick Stewart.
No, he's been in fucking Kick-Ass. He was in the Game of Shadows.
Oh, you're talking about Mark Strong.
Mark Strong.
That's it.
Him.
Mark Strong.
Him. He's in everything as well.
Yeah, but Mark Strong's in everything because he's in everything. He's doing the
He is
Michael
everything.
Caine. He's doing the Michael Caine.
He's got
school of it.
Morgan Freeman syndrome.
On
yeah.
Sinistro.
I believe
you say.
Scarlett Johansson has recently contracted that as well. 'cause
Yes.
It's like every third film that
Yes.
comes out, she's in at the minute.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but there's a really good line. I was going to use it when we actually ever did this film, but Michael Caine apparently chooses his roles,
Yeah.
and the reason he's been always in work, he chooses his roles by reading the script. And what he did for Jaws 4, he read the first
Yes.
page of the script, and
Yeah.
it said, "Fade in, the Bahamas."
Bahamas.
And he said, "Yep, I'm having that." Didn't bother with the rest of it. He just spent 3 weeks in the Bahamas.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. Fucking sharks! You can't get a shark in warm water. What kind of madness is that? You're talking rubbish, woman.
Sharks, bloody thousands of them.
So
You're only meant to blow the bloody fins off.
you're stabbing it with a fucking no, never mind. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Black Dog, don't just keep fucking posting news stories about fucking Nathan Fillion being in absolutely fucking everything. He's not. He's doing Castle for the rest of time until his head falls off.
So you're not going to be happy with the fact that Expendables 4 is him, Tom Hiddleston, Benedict Cumberbatch, Mark Strong, fucking Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, all having a bit of a ding dong round the back. Yeah,
This is it. Yeah, they're all in there.
they're all in there, and it's all about an ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There you go. Right. Anyway, shall we move on to feedback? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
go on then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now put your hands up, hero line, doing real fine. We're doing our podcast thing. It's called Blackdog, it's not like a joke. Is anyone there listening? What do you think of our show? Let us know by MP3 or email. Just get it to us, it ain't no fuss. We'll even read your Twitter rings. Cause if you like us or you hate us, send some feedback in. Got a geek and point to rates and put some feedback in. If you think my voice is sexy, put some feedback in. Man, we really like it if you put some feedback in.
Right. Take 2 on the feedback. Hello, everyone. May not seem like it to you, but we've done this already. God damn it. Oh, Adobe Audition. What a bunch of cock. Anyway, so we got new feedback in. Everyone,
Have we?
yeah.
Who's it from?
Guess who it's from? It's from Martin Thompson. And Martin writes, "Dear Lee and Darren and Jim and Elton and Pete, welcome back after 2 weeks away. This is the second time I've seen Slither. The first was on my rental many years ago, and I remember enjoying it, but it didn't make a huge impression. This time round, I really enjoyed it much more. The film had a great B-movie vibe about it, and even before the alien took over Grant, it was just fun exploring the town and its people. The ending was a little predictable, though, and the old chopping off the Queen's head to kill the rest trick because of the alien menace got too big to handle. Grant looks like Walter White, and I spent most of the film trying to guess whether Elizabeth Banks' character was called Starla or Scarlet. Anyway, nice film to revisit. Cheers, Martin." And it did record. Hooray! Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much for that, Martin. Yeah, well, there you go. That's a good start. Was it Darla, Scarla, or Scarlet? I could never remember.
Starla.
Was it
Starla, yeah.
Starla Grant.
Starla Grant? That sounds like some kind of fancy pen that you buy from Ryman's. Or was that Parker Grant? Oh, what was that?
Parker Pens.
Parker Pens. Oh, I don't know. And I'm having, it's clearly the sugar from all of that drink has just gone to my head, and I'm now delusional.
Well, it was nearly a pint of sugar.
It was a complete pint of Coca-Cola. So I'm Roger Willard. And I don't know. Don't mind me. Just keep talking. Anyway, Darren, what do you got? Darren.
Ranger Rick. Come in, Ranger Rick.
Okay, we have a mail from Chris Johnson.
Aha. Chief of the witness for the defence.
He certainly is. And Chris writes, "Hello, Team Blackdog.
Hello.
Hello.
What do I think of Slither? I loved it the first time I saw it, and after this rewatch, I still do. So I bet you think it's just because I'm a Firefly flan. I'm a pastry-based treat. No, I'm a Firefly fan. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Firefly fan?
Yeah. Do you think it's because I really like Firefly, and I have a Woody for Nathan Fillion? And you'd be wrong. I saw this before I watched Firefly, and only remember Mr. Fillion from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's because Slither is a funny B-movie with a zombie invasion of the body snatchers feel. Chris."
I think he protests too much.
And I think he puts too many words with fucking F at the beginning of them in his bloody feedback as well.
Now, that's called the English language, mate.
Shut up.
Right. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Chris. And you can hear Chris and some other people on Witless for the Defence, which you can find on Jellycast and iTunes. Is it on Stitcher as well, Jim?
I'm not sure.
Yes, I think it is.
Elton, yes, of course, yeah. Cool. Okay, so, Jim, who do you have next?
We have Mr. Michael Cornett.
Of Dust and Corruption, blogspot.com.
Nipple stapler.
That's right.
The belly stapler.
Belly staple.
Aha.
In an email entitled "Slither Hither and Dither," he writes, "Lee, Darren, Jim, Elton, Roy, Cubby, Annette." Oops. Carried away there for a moment. "I missed Slither when it was in theatres, although I heard a lot of good things about it. In fact, even now it's praised as the greatest horror comedy of all time. Not old town.
We're getting punchy.
Language virus spreading. It's like Pontypool all over again. Jesus. Right. Anyhow, Michael writes, "I sat down to watch it, and I was first struck by the resemblance to Night of the Creeps, which I later learned was something many other people were struck by. I noticed and liked how it was more open about the sexual nature of its horrors, which is something most movies of this sort only suggest and then dance around. The horrors were openly paralleled with disease and less openly with domestic violence and infidelity, and by the end the monster was more like an orgy than a single being. But greatest horror comedy of all time? Not by a long shot in my book. Slither isn't bad in the least, and I enjoyed it, but nowhere near to the degree that others have. My horror comedy heart still belongs to The Raven, with Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and Boris Karloff. There was quite a bit of good comedy writing and some good performances, although I don't find Nathan Fillion as drop-dead gorgeous as others seem to. Not that I'd kick him out of bed either. And for pity's sake, the bit at the very end with the cat finding the crap of Grant and obviously being taken over was so fucking predictable. And I would have to knock some marks off for that. There was quite a bit of cleverness going on in there, but then they had to do something so conventional and inane. I'd love to see a movie like this where the monster is killed off and stays killed off. So yes, it's good, but I didn't think it's that good. Maybe a case of overdone hype. Maybe I'm just not the ideal audience for this flick. I enjoyed it, but it's not a favourite, and I'm not likely to see it again.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Thank you very much for that, Michael. Thank you, Jim, for reading it out. And if you like Michael's take on things, then you can find his blog, which is dustandcorruption.blogspot.com. And he will be belly stapling more horrors and weird fiction on his blog.
I was just going to say, if he does like movies of this ilk, then maybe The Faculty might be a better one for him to watch.
I get the sense, at least from looking at his blog, he's more of a classic era horror than the sort of just gore for the sake of gore kind of thing. Am I right, Jim? Would I be reading that right? Have you seen his...
Probably just like his exploitation as well. So,
yes.
I think The Faculty is certainly a funnier movie. And, I think so. Like myself, you see Night of the Creeps. It does take a bit of shine off Slither because you're going, this is very familiar. This is too familiar, you naughty man.
Yes. Now we're going to watch a film called Space Wars with Daft Varda or something. Anyway, sorry, I don't know where I'm going with that. Sorry, sugar rush, caffeine. I'm going off my tits. Hello, Elton.
Yes, right.
Before diabetes claims my life, take.
I'm only trusted with tweets from now on, which is fine by me. And I have one from Mark Berryman.
Ah. Okay.
And he says, Slither. James Gunn warns about oral sex or funny alien invasion. I can't tell anymore. Still, a Friday good beer movie. There we go.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. The Twitter thing being sent to you was purely just the next one on the list. I didn't realize
that's
it was
fine by me. The smaller the better.
Okay, you are the tweet master from here on in. And then on the far end of the other end of the far opposite end of the spectrum, we have my next piece of feedback, which is from Jack P. Starro. And Jack writes, okay, right. Firstly, subject's called feedback slithering down your gob. Nice.
Okay.
So anyway, he writes, "Ahoy, turd blossoms! Yeah, I bet I'm not the only one to use that reference in this episode. Or actually, but anyway, I absolutely loved Guardians of the Galaxy. Apart from the way they made Gamora both boring and wimpy, and was pretty hyped coming out of it. Thing is, though, I thought I'd never seen any James Gunn flicks before." Turns out I've seen 2 Scooby-Doo movies that he wrote, although I wouldn't have pegged them as representing a subversive reputation for humour. I suppose the way they shit all over Scrappy-Doo kind of fits the meta touch of sorts, but not much. Probably a sort of studio-mandated restriction. Oh, I noticed the bit where someone was watching a Troma movie in Slither, though oddly it was original Toxic Avenger rather than one of Gunn's. But this is my only other film I've now seen which Gunn has directed. It was pretty good, certainly, but I don't have a lot to say about it, frankly. Okay, so the email stops there, no? Oh, right, okay. As I've said before, horror isn't really my thing, and although horror comedy is more my wheelhouse, I didn't find Slither particularly scary nor inordinately funny. I mostly found it just pretty gross. The scene of the Ranger lady in the barn, that must be an Aussie term, who was pregnant, in quotes, with the Squillian Suggs blown up like a giant flesh balloon and then tearing along the stretch marks was a bit much for me and was most revolting, borderline misogynistic, gory alien birth scene I've had the displeasure of seeing since Alien vs. Predator Requiem or the especially nasty Species 2 before it. I wouldn't have put it. Yeah, I wouldn't have put it in the same range as Alien vs Predator. That just went for the.
No, that was unnecessary. That one.
That was completely the other way. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. The rest didn't bother me so much. I liked how Michael Rooker's mutated face had a huge toothy mouth on one side, like Venom from Spider-Man, or the Leech from the Evil Horde, and I liked that they seemed to use a lot of prosthetics where possible instead of pure CGI. The effects were pretty decent on the whole, like when Elizabeth Banks shot the cop's head in half and an infecting slug flops out. And while in many respects the film seems like a derivative film like Invasion of the Body Snatchers with sprinklings of the Blob and lots of zombie tropes, I hear the film is controversially very derivative of Night of the Creeps, which James Gunn perhaps disingenuously claims to have never seen. So I'd be interested if Mr. Moon could drop some Library of Dreams knowledge on us about that if he hasn't already. Regardless, I like the story device of all the possessed people having a hive mind with Michael Rooker's character and the exposition method of having the girl almost getting possessed but fighting it off, gaining extraterrestrial visions like an aborted mind meld. It is a little unclear, though, as to why the alien consciousness seemingly became dominated by the mind of its first human victim, even though he couldn't fight the biological urges it gave him. Were we to infer that the life form didn't have much of a sentience of its own, and even though it absorbed the psyches of everything it ate, it was never previously assimilated something as smart as a human? Anyway, it had a good cast, even if I felt Nathan Fillion was doing a rather watered-down version of his usual quite amusing shtick. Although, given his age of this film, I wonder if he was in fact not yet fully developed into that persona. Probably it's a post-Firefly, so no, probably not. Shrug. Michael Rooker is great, although not as awesome as he was in the role of Yondu. I think my favourite part of the film was how the cops are sufficiently genre savvy that once they see Rooker horribly mutating, they don't even question it like the mayor does. And even though they have no idea what it is, they all accept the fact that he has quite obviously turned into some horrible squid monster and are fairly matter of fact about it. That's all I've got, gents. I didn't love it, but it was diverting enough, and I look forward to trying out the rest of Gunn's short CV. The specials and Super definitely sound interesting. I've actually been meaning to check them out long since before I got round to Guardians, but never got round to it. Fancy giving me one more excuse, boys? Love and pelvic sorcery, Jack. Thank you for that, Jack. Yeah, and it's just reminded me. I did like that scene when they're all in that police station, and the mayor comes in, and they're going, "Oh, he's turned into a big squid," and it's like they're all going, and he's going, "No, he's not turned into a squid. It's Lyme's disease." And then all of a sudden, it's like, "So what are you going to do about it?" And it cuts to Nathan Fillion standing by the board of all the farms that have been attacked, and each farm's got a little sticker,
little squid on it,
squid sticker stuck on it.
Oh yeah,
and the little cuddly one. We could use this as a photo fit.
That's right. We use that one as a photo fit. So, yeah, I did like that. Thank you for that, Jack. Yeah, good, thorough
I think
feedback.
it was in the same scene as well when they were getting all the guns and to go out. The music was very Predator.
It was.
It was, yeah.
It was Alan Silvestri's main theme. It was da 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 bum 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 bum. Yeah.
It wasn't quite though, was it?
No.
So there's the little tune at the end was slightly off. But
Yeah.
It's very, very obvious. Yeah.
Well, there's this copyright law which says you can only have like 30 seconds of copyrighted music playing if people aren't talking over it, and if people talk over it, then you basically you can get away with a lot. But yeah, I think they just they got to 30 seconds and then they just slowed it down or something like that because the music
dropped the piano.
Yeah, it's sort of like just speed it up or put a over the top of it or something. But it was definitely the Silvestri da da dum dum da da dum dum bum, sort of thing. So yeah. Anyway, that was my second piece of feedback. Darren.
Yes.
Who do you have next?
I have Gareth Lloyd.
Mr. Gareth Lloyd. Yeah. Did he have a birthday while we were off and we missed it?
Yes, I believe we did. I think.
Yes. Well, belated happy birthdays to you, sir.
Yes. Did he
May
have
your
one?
mind sword never grow dull.
He did have a birthday this year, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he did. Excellent.
Not this year. I never said that. Did I say that? Oh,
Most people have a birthday this year.
Shut up. I'm editing all of this out. I'm editing all you cunts out. I'm going to have a 40-minute episode of just me talking to me.
I think it comes around once every 12 months, doesn't it?
Shut up.
It's about that.
Divs. I hate you all.
Anyway.
What do I pay you for?
So, Gareth writes, he's subjected it, slippery customers. Hello, chaps. Now, I'd only seen Slither once when I got the DVD cheap, and I enjoyed it as a fun watch, but I've never got round to watching it again until now. So, looking at it again, I found the makeup and the effects nicely oozy and horrible, and Michael Rooker is always great. But the plot was a little pedestrian, and as the film went on, I found my attention wandering, and I was left a bit underwhelmed by the end of it. The characters were mostly bland or pretty unsympathetic. However, I loved the flashes of the alien world that you get, as these had a nice pulp sci-fi look to them. And the scenes of the worms attacking the girl in the bath and her family and infesting the house is really well done.
Oops, sorry.
Stop hitting the mic with your dick.
Sorry.
So, a film I found to be a little lackluster all in all, and probably won't be rushing to give it another watch, though I'm sure some people will love it. Right, so thanks, guys. Gareth.
Thank you very much for that, Gareth. And thank you, Darren. Cool. So, yeah, overall, we're getting generally thumbs up. There's no real hate for it, which is good. It's good to see.
Okay, incidentally, the mind meld scene, that's a crib from Quatermass and the Pit.
Ah, nice. I was going to say the one thing I noticed was when you see all the creatures all melding together, the first one that you see sort of silhouetted against the sun horizon is actually the dog from Melty Dog Monster from The Thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right.
I saw that and I was like, I've seen that before. Stop, pause, back a couple of frames. Oh, yes. There you go. When they toast it and it's got like the sort of dog head and it's kind of all twisted.
Yes.
Yep. There you go. Anyway, carry on. Jim, who do you have next?
We have Mr. Mark Last.
Aha.
He writes, "Evening, Lee, Darren, Jim, Elton, and Pete."
Pete. Don't forget Pete.
So, random mutterings on Slither. I managed to watch Slither a few weeks back when it was on Film 4. Prior to that, I'd only seen it once before on DVD, not long after it was released. After my initial disappointment that I wasn't about to see Sharon Stone being shagged silly by a random Baldwin brother, I remember quite enjoying it. On rewatch, it was alright. It's clear that James Gunn has love and respect for other cult sci-fi / horror films and freely borrows from them. The Blob, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Critters, The Thing, and even Societies and Shivers spring to mind. However, the thing that disappoints me most has been Nathan Fillion. As big a fan as his as I am, he just doesn't have enough to do, and the script lacks the Whedon-esque edge with which he should shine so brightly in a Firefly or a Much Ado About Nothing, amongst others. Seriously, if you haven't seen Joss Whedon's Much Ado yet, I urge you to do so. It's like Whedon actors' greatest hits. Back to Slither and Fillion. And the one-liners that there are simply that. One-liners. With no opportunity for the ensemble banter with which he has made his name and reputation. Thankfully, James Gunn's script writing was tightened and honed by the time he wrote the script for Guardians of the Galaxy. For me, the star of Slither is Michael Rooker. Anywho, that's all from me. I'll shortly be seeing you all at the Shindig in a couple of weeks' time. Get your drinks, orders in now, gents. Mark.
Lovely. Well, if we're talking about the Shindig, thank you very much for that, Mark. I will have a lager. What are you having, Dal?
I'll have a lager. Yeah.
Jim?
I hear a lot of people singing about pina colada lately.
What, and getting caught in the rain? Are you not into yoga? Do you have half a brain?
Do you like making love at midnight?
Don't
I think we're kind of, you're probably in the right bar for it.
No, downstairs bar is definitely part of
Exactly.
Hey, what about you, Elton? What are you having?
I'm having lager.
Okay, lager. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, won't ask you, Pete. You're not part of the inner circle yet. Just because you got a guest spot. You didn't get the place at the bar.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear me.
you have to come in for 3 times. It's like a BP sort of offer. You get some glasses after that.
Get the glasses. Get my green shield stamps.
Get your green shield stamps. Yeah, cool. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Mark. And yes, just while we're on the case of the Shindig, obviously we have had new people join the Facebook group. I don't know if they've been included.
I've included them.
You've included them.
Yeah, you can do that now. It tells you all the ones that haven't been invited.
Okay.
Tick, 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 tick.
Well, yes. So if you're listening,
I should go back on there and just make sure.
Okay, look at that interactive podcasting thing. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, obviously we are having a Shindig, which is on the September the 13th.
13th.
Yeah. Just in case we weren't unlucky enough on this podcast, we're having it on the 13th.
I have double checked it, by the way. We are still booked in.
We are still booked in.
Still booked in, yes.
Okay, so yes, we will be at the Retro Bar, which is an alternative lifestyle bar downstairs. But upstairs will be
Gay bar.
It's a gay bar. Anyway, so that's downstairs. But upstairs, on the side door, which you can clearly see on the entrance to the pub, if you go up the stairs, everyone will be there. And what time are we going to be there, Dal? Because we've got to be there just to sort of welcome any strays and waifs that turn up.
We've got to blow the balloons up.
No, I don't think we're doing balloons. And anyone who's just wondering what we're actually going to be doing there, we're doing a pub meet. We are having a pub meet. We are saying hello, and we're drinking beer, and we're talking bollocks, and we're mingling and talking. That's the quiz and the karaoke thing is all a bit much for people who are only meeting for the first time, I think. Yeah, it's like, hey, I've never met you before. Right, get up and sing.
Yeah,
that's not going to go. That's never going to go down well. So
I think, unlike the other shindigs we've had, we won't be asking the new guys to get naked.
No, that was always fun.
It was, especially the bit where they spoon us in butter.
Yeah, and like I say, that's downstairs in the retro. Anyway, upstairs retro bar in Charing Cross. Is it not Charing Cross Road? It's the Strand, isn't it?
It's the Strand. That's right.
It.
Yeah.
So anyway, get on the Facebook group. You'll find all the details under the events tab. Right, well, I think that's about it. Time to wrap it all up, I guess. Thank you so much for listening. But before we completely wrap it all up, it's time to tell you what next week's film is. Next week's film is a film, now if I'm right, it's by Shane Meadows. It's a little revenge flick that came out a few years back. Film 4 thing, starring Paddy Considine. It's not our usual kind of wheelhouse. You know, there's no spaceships or monsters or just craziness. Well, actually, there is a lot of craziness. And it's called Dead Man's Shoes. Or Dead Men's Shoes, depending on how you pronounce it. But anyway, Dead Man's Shoes. Has anyone seen this film before?
I've not.
You've not?
Don't think.
Darren hasn't. Elton?
No, of course I haven't.
Do you know what? Because I didn't think a lot of people had seen this film, I thought it'd be actually quite ironic if it was only me and you had seen it. But
no. Sorry.
What about you, Pete? Have you seen it?
I can't place it. I don't think I have seen it, no.
Right. Well, I feel like, this is quite a new sensation. I'm the only person in the room who's seen this film like 3 times. That's interesting. Okay, well, normally it's on Film 4 quite a lot. But anyway, you should be able to find it through alternative means. And there is a couple of online video servers that have it. But it is, like I say, it's a small indie film set in the UK. Revenge flick, very much along the lines of a sort of Death Wish kind of thing. I won't spoil it for you because there's a lot more about it that you need to kind of have happen and see. Anyway, so I can't really discuss it with anyone. So yeah, there you go. Go watch it, you lot. And if you see Dead Man's Shoes, like I say, if it's men's or man's, I can't remember, but it's got Paddy Considine in it, Shane Meadows film. And yeah, send in your feedback to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com or leave some feedback on the Twitter account, which I barely check, but it's there. It's at Blackdog Podcast, or of course on the ever-growing Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Blackdog Podcast. So just leaves me to say thank you to Pete.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you on, sir. We'll have you back again in the future, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And thank you to Jim.
My pleasure.
It's Jim, are you doing any new Hypnobobs this week? Or are you
I hope to do one this weekend. I was going to do one last weekend, but a sore throat got in the way. So
yeah.
yes.
Cool.
next going to be doing a show on horror double bills.
Lovely. Nice. And when are you and Elton doing a Witless next?
Yet to be decided.
Because I believe, Elton, you're watching some excellent films for the Witless Defence.
They are what I like to call top drawer movies.
And
Not top shelf movies, then.
no. Get this. You're going to love this, Dal. Listen to this, because I heard it, because obviously I was on Witless for the Defence last time, and I heard what they were going to do next.
Go on, then.
What are you going to do, Elton? Tell everyone what you're doing. You guys are doing for Witless for the Defence.
Okay, we are putting to prosecution Transformers.
Right.
Transformers 2.
Yeah.
Transformers 3. Transformers the movie. And now I want to kill myself.
Yeah. See, not even on the Blackdog will we put you through every single movie version of the Transformers.
And we watched fucking Twilight. I mean,
we did watch Twilight. Yeah, you guys all missed a bullet with that one as well. We'll come back to the Twilight. Don't worry. We've still got 2 more episodes to watch.
Have we?
Yeah, we've still got the 2-parter finale, haven't we?
Well, you know.
Breaking Wind, or whatever it's called.
Yes. So there you go. So do go to Witless for the Defence, which you can find on iTunes and on Jellycast, and enjoy me defending Thunderbirds this episode. Ha! And
keep a straight face.
I am keeping a straight face. I'm not telling everyone. I'm not saying a word, but I'm not saying a word. Anyway, and you can also listen to the screams of anguished agony of 3 hosts as they review all the Transformers movies next time. Have fun with that.
That's going to be a long cast, isn't it?
It is. It'll be one I'll be sitting back and laughing at, though, because I'm not involved in it at all. But anyway, right. So, until next time, thank you again to everyone. Thank you all for listening. And we'll see you all next week for Dead Men's Shoes. Until then, take care. See you soon. Tatty, bye. Bye.